All right, so the common question is, what happens if a tenant doesn't pay rent? Is there any protection? What do I do? Well, this gentleman did not get paid since April 2025. Basically, the tenant moved in and stopped paying rent and utilities. Obviously, there is protection from LTB, which is Landlord Tenancy Board, and there's a process. Yes, the hearing is April of 2026, which is nearly a full year by the time they get the hearing and all of that. But what happens in between? I mean, like it's always mind-boggling. There's all these, leases happening, the rentals all across the city, across the country, and whatnot. So, does LTB, do they have to speed up the process? Do they have to protect, as promised, both sides, landlords and tenants? But in this case, the landlord cannot sleep. Imagine having mortgage, having the utilities, and then what do you do? I mean, the honest question is, what do you really do? I mean, it no wonder they cannot sleep. I mean, and then just the after effect, what happens in between? Maybe they had some plans. Maybe they wanted to do something with that money. Maybe they had no money. Maybe they had to dig into more credit in order to sustain that property. So it's just that mind-boggling situation, right? So we can get into a little bit of data here that I wrote down. So the tenant stopped paying rent and utilities since April. Amount reported so far, it's $23,000. So landlord continues covering the mortgage, property taxes, utilities, and other expenses. Landlord filled application with Ontario Landlord and Tenant Board in September of 2025, and the hearing is scheduled, as mentioned, April 9th of 2026. But it's like, can you really call the bank and say, look, this is my situation. The tenant is clearly not paying and I don't want to pay a mortgage. And let's see what the bank is going to say, right? We obviously know the answer to that. The bank will say, we don't care. Or let's say we call the city and say, look, I cannot afford to pay taxes because my tenant is not paying me and therefore I'm not going to pay you. You see, like, I just don't understand how we got to this particular situation. And another fun statistical fact that I heard the other day is that we have more realtors registered than active military staff in Canada. Can you imagine that? More realtors in Toronto GTA versus the entire military in Canada. I mean, I don't want to switch the subject. It just goes to show you how big the industry is, how much money is involved in that industry, and yet the protection seems to be lagging, maybe on both sides. I really don't know, but I just wanted to inform you, and I want to hear what you have to say. If you're renting, like what was your experience? Some people have obviously normal experiences and they have great tenants, they pay on time, maybe a day or two late, but they're definitely horror stories. So make sure you do your own due diligence, make sure you maybe have a safety net, and you kind of organize yourself properly in order to get involved when it comes to expanding on your real estate portfolio. So I hope you gain some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.